So, as a reminder, here's the URL where all of these resources will live. So if you remember back in September and you're thinking, oh yeah, I remember that in September. I want that PowerPoint, or I'd like that slide, or that was a great idea. And if you don't remember maybe what it looked like, remember we did do video capture of each of the different days. So if you want to pull that URL up, you can. I'll pull it back down in a second. But at the bottom here, I've put the PowerPoint for today in here. If you thought, because remember the whole point of this is for you to possibly take this work back. You might take back the walkabout idea to help generate some conversation. That's how you can get to that document, nice and clean right there. I've got a link directly to the grammar group that I'll reference in a moment. And then we'll do a most important point activity. And then I've got a video capture that I'll put up there. We also at the bottom, Nellie and I haven't had a chance yet, but we'll get into the dates for next year, talking about what will this look like, and we'll get those posted at the bottom of that. So if you wanted to continue next year, we'll get those dates in order. We haven't had a chance to plan. Last year we actually had it in order, I think, before the last session. Before I do dig into the grammar work, though, I did want to go back and just remind you of where those outcomes came from. So the first day we met, we got together with our sheets, our posters per table, and we went around and voted with our dots. So a lot of them where you see the blue stars or the checks are some of the things that we've hit along the way. And so focusing then on today, we thought, well, you know what? We wanted to go a little deeper into vocabulary because that was one of the questions that came up, and you see the heavy dots and stars around it. We also had this big piece around the guided reading. And in full disclosure, Nellie and I both were like, guided reading. But then we said, well, look at all the dots around it. So that's why we pulled together this piece around the guided reading. And really what you'll see on that is we kind of got into this whole idea of a reading continuum. I think we're really getting comfortable with the writing continuum, and those resources are already available. But what does that look like for reading? And now that the MESA units are coming out and a little more complete in reading and people are using them, or some of Lucy's work is out there with reading, people are wondering, we've got this writing continuum, what does reading look like? And we're going to dig into that a little bit more. So, and that obviously then naturally segues into guided reading, and I've got some good resources we'll dig into around that. So you got the URL, just a reminder where to get to the resources we're talking through. And we also have the backup plan there of the different information. So, without further ado, let's jump into grammar.